Hello, welcome back for HunterTuned. I'm going to be working on the EG again today. I'm going to get the turbo kit hopefully installed. I've been running around frickin' all day today actually trying to find oil lines for it and something that'll actually work for this application. This is like a special kind of thread pitch. It's not like a pipe thread or anything like that. Normally on most turbochargers they'll just have like an 1/8 inch pipe thread for the feed line. And then for the return line is just like a standard 2-bolt flange. But this turbo actually, this is from VS Racing. Very nice turbos, but they utilize like Garrett cores, I think. So the Garrett core actually uses like a inverted flare fitting for the feed line. And, you know, a different flange for the bottom, for the return line. So what I did for the oil lines on this thing is I actually went to the store and I got some fittings and I actually just bent up a piece of brake line. So this is going to be my inverted flare fitting right here. So I bent this up already. This is going to go into the turbo feed right here. So this fitting is going to go right into the turbo like so. And then I wrapped it around so it's going to come through here and then go to the back side of the manifold back here where I can hook up my -3 feed line to it back here. And then I'm just going to run it off of the cylinder head on a single cam and like an LS motor, B18B. They actually have a, I don't think B16 head has it or not, but I know like LS motor right here, this B18B or B18A, they actually have a plug right here. This is an 1/8 inch pipe plug. And you can just get 1/8 inch to -3 right here and then run your oil feed off of that. I've actually done that on a few cars. Otherwise, I usually get like an oil pressure sandwich plate that goes where the oil filter was, or you take out the sending unit and you can put a T-fitting there. But just to keep this setup nice and clean, I'm going to be running the -3 line off of this to the cylinder head, and then I'm going to run an oil pressure gauge where the stock sending unit is currently. So that's what I'm doing for the oil feed line. And then the return line, man, that thing's a beauty. Anyways, for the return line, I actually ended up tapping the turbo. So the return line, I actually ended up tapping the turbo here on the bottom for a 3/8 inch pipe thread plug. This is almost 3/8 of an inch already, so you can almost just take a tap and just tap it to 3/8. I ended up putting some paper towel in there just to kind of keep any shavings out of the turbo, and then I tapped it and then ran this fitting into it. So that way it can still utilize different fittings later. You can still put the 2-bolt flange on, or you can just put a pipe thread to AN fitting or a pipe thread to barb like I am doing. You can do it either way. And then the water cooler lines are just going to be pipe thread as well. Those are already pipe thread. They're nothing special. So yeah, that's all done. And I got the old exhaust off of the car because this thing had a stock exhaust. And I had it running just to make sure the motor was good and everything. I had the stock exhaust on it. And I ended up just gutting all that off the car. And I put the turbo manifold on. This is a bottom mount manifold. We had issues with the top mount that we had, so we're switching to this manifold instead. Maybe later he will upgrade, but this will do for now. And this is just a cast iron log manifold. And then I bolted the turbine housing onto it already. So this is all good to go, ready to, you know, it ain't coming off. And then I'll just bolt the turbo on here onto the turbine housing. And that is actually what I'm doing next. I'm just going to be bolting the turbo on. Like I said, you just kind of got to bolt it around the turbine housing. They come with little C-clamp things. I'll show you here. Well, they're not really C-clamps. They're like a you know, just like a washer deal that holds the turbo on. These little spacer things. You just bolt these on to hold the turbo on. And you're all good to go. So I'm going to get that bolted on, and then we can move on to finishing the oil lines and whatnot. Alright guys, I just ran to the store quick and I grabbed some stuff. I needed a few fittings to finish up the oil return line, but I did get the feed line installed. The turbo's all bolted on. I got the feed line ran over to the head there. seems to work pretty good. There's the oil return. Here's the turbo. I got the compressor housing loose so I can put my intercooler piping in. I think that's what I'm going to do next. Return line here is just braided, you know, AN line that I just hose clamped onto some barb fittings. Not going nowhere. I tapped the pan 3/8 MPT thread and put some RTV on the threads. Shouldn't have no issues there. That's how I always do it. It works awesome. But yeah. So now I'm going to move on to this intercooler piping and see how everything fits and let you guys know how it is. Alright guys, so I put this piping kit out here so you guys can see what all comes with this Black Horse Racing kit from eBay. This is on eBay for like any Honda Civic, and the seller is Black Horse Racing, I believe. And it comes with all these pipes and the couplers and clamps and everything like that. The flange, it doesn't say in the description, but I've ordered these before, so I know this is a HKS blow-off valve flange. So I had to order the HKS blow-off valve separately. But I did get this piping kit, and then it comes with the intercooler. I already got it mounted on the car. But this intercooler fits perfectly when you mount it right to the crash bar here. And yeah, it seems to be good so far. We'll see how the pipes fit. It looks like I'm probably going to have to trim this guy right here down because this kit is actually meant for the compressor housing to be on the passenger side, which we are going to be running it on the driver's side. And then the piping kit for the other side is actually meant for, you know, a Civic when it runs through this right here instead of through the hole over here. Some piping kits will run the piping through the hole over here, or it'll run straight down next to the radiator hose right here, which this kit does. So I'm going to delete the washer tank quick and get this thing out of the way because, I mean, you can make the piping fit under it, but I think it just looks cleaner and gets some of this dead weight out of here. I don't think he's going to be using this anyways. I just got the hot side of the intercooler all done. So this piping is actually like 1.5 inches compared to the cold side, which is 2.5. Some of these piping kits will actually give you like a smaller diameter for the cold side. I don't know why, but they do. But anyways, so I got all this piping on. It looks real nice. It's real nice and snug. I just had to cut the one pipe down a little bit like I explained. This is all looking really good. Everything fits nice, and you can see kind of why I like getting rid of the washer tank here, because, you know, it would probably interfere with this, or if it did not interfere, the piping would hang real low, and I don't like running them that way, so I just delete it. Now I'm moving on to the cold side piping, and I had to actually install this HKS blow-off valve on here, and these HKSs can be a little bit tricky because they're actually held in by a snap ring. Inside of here, there's actually a snap ring, and I did it by myself. I just put the pipe in my bench vise here and squeezed it together and then walked it around with a chisel and a hammer and kind of just tapped it in slowly and walked it around until it clicked in. So this is all good to go. There's a seal underneath it that helps seal it, just a rubber O-ring. This blow-off valve is looking good. So we can chuck this onto the car now. It's probably going to look something like this when we're done. So yeah, I'm just going to get this thing all installed and install the other piece of intercooler piping, which is just this guy right here. All this stuff should bolt on without any modification, I'm hoping. So yeah, we'll throw that on quick.
What? Oh, hi.
You know, there's a guy that commented and he's like, I love when you sneak up on Michael, and he's like, what are you filming me for? What? But anyways.
Just catch me off guard.
Yeah. Michael is a little bit intoxicated on paint fumes right now.
Yeah, I just painted my engine bay. Primed it. I primed it. In a non-vented garage.
I was going to go over there and check out his car, but I've been busy trucking away on this thing. Like I said, I got all the intercooler piping done now. I got the blow-off valve on. All this piping is done. The only thing is, with this piping kit that I've noticed, if you actually center the intercooler, this pipe actually hits on this like piece right here. So I actually notched this out so the pipe doesn't rub. So that should be all good to go now. And the only other issue I had was, yeah, just this piece right here I had to notch out for the pipe to clear and not to rub. Because over time, if you would leave that rub, it would rub right through the pipe and you'd have a boost leak and no horsepower. No horsepower. So now I'm making a downpipe for it, and I went to Mills Fleet Farm. If y'all know where Mills Fleet Farm is, you know they sell mandrel bent 3-inch pipe. So I went there and I bought this guy right here. This is a mandrel bent 90-degree 3-inch pipe. 25 bucks for this thing. What a crock of shit. But anyways, at least it'll be pretty and it'll flow good. And I'm pretty much just gonna make the pipe come straight up like this. And yeah, so I'm just gonna end up welding this to the V-band flange, you know, like so, right in there. And just gonna send it. All right, this is how you put two pieces of metal together. You just, you know, put it right there. And, you know, just send it. Ow!
And burn your fingers off?
Yep. I gotta, like, hold it so it's flat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There, it's like sort of tacked. Should go make sure it fits. It doesn't look like a bag of dicks. You know what I mean? Wow, look at that strong tack right there, boys. That is probably the weakest piece of shit tack I've ever done. Just be careful. Just be careful. You think that's good?
Yeah.
Send it. Not my best, but it'll do. I ain't no fancy TIG welder like some of y'all.
I'm looking at Hunter's workbench over here, and I see this guy. And I ask him, hey, did you use that?
That?
Yeah.
What's that? Well, you see here, this is actually a return line flange for like an eBay turbo. Like, not VS Racing, because the VS Racing Garrett ones have like a smaller, you know, bolt hole deal here.
Yeah.
And this one's wider.
Uh-huh.
And the gasket didn't fit or nothing. And I'm like, oh, I'll just drill new holes. And I couldn't drill a hole through it, so I took an angle grinder and I cut little football fields here in between. And then I bolted it on and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Because then I'm like, wow, this doesn't work at all. And then I tried putting the bolt in and the bolt didn't fit, so I had to grind down the head of the bolt and that didn't work. So I took another bolt and I tried another bolt out and that one didn't work. And then I just said, fuck it, and threw it in the goddamn bench. Just get rid of that junk. And I said, screw it, I'm just tapping the turbo. And that's when I showed you guys earlier when I tapped the bottom of the turbo. But yeah, so.
Mint.
Like for a certain time.
Yeah. She said uploading at 2 in the morning. Have it upload at 9 a.m. So you can have
I feel like I like, because a lot of people I feel like wake up in the middle of the day, or like 5, 6 in the morning, they wake up and then they watch my video. Because the time I go to bed, which is like 3 in the morning usually, I'll have like 200 views on the video, and then I wake up and it's got like 400. Right. So I feel like a lot of people that like are first shifters, they wake up before work and they watch the video. I don't know. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the 2 videos per day. That was a pretty good run we had there, but I'm not doing that no more. I feel like, honestly, the amount of views that 2 videos a day would get would probably equal 1 video a day. Like I'd probably get 500 on one and 500 on another, versus if I just posted 1 per day, it'd get 1,000 on the one. So I feel like I'm just gonna do 1 video a day like I've been doing, because 2 videos a day is a lot of work. A lot. I did it for 1 day. And I edited 2 videos at once and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. Like doing one's hard enough, honestly. So, sorry, not sorry. I'm just gonna do 1 video. You'll have to deal with it. All right, Michael. What you got? What do you got? What do you got there?
I got the downpipe.
Okay. Well,
Completely done.
wow, them welds look like shit. Did you weld it?
Yeah, I did. Sorry, Tyler. I welded this for us.
I'm just kidding. Those are my beautiful welds. But anyways, we got the downpipe fully welded up here. I shouldn't say it's a downpipe, it's an up pipe. It goes up, not down. But anyways, we're gonna throw this thing on. Look at that, we got a downpipe. It's installed and made in Canada.
Canada?
Canada.
Hey?
Hey. All right, should we fire this hot rod up?
Sure.
I shouldn't say it's a hot rod, it's a tractor.
Race machine?
Tractor. Don't mind me, I'm just putting gauges in over here. There is no goddamn oil filter on. Pin over here.
With the gas.
Don't put it on.
What?
I'm gonna go get a new one.
Oh, because of paint. So Michael caught you again.
I don't think I want to tell everybody that we didn't put the oil filter on.
Well, you're rolling.
Fuck! Okay, so I started this car for like a second. Well, how long was that though? Like 3/4 of a second, and I shut it off right away because I realized I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, there's no oil filter on it. I remembered,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's no oil filter on it. As you can see, there's oil on the ground. There is oil in the motor. It's actually full of oil, but we took the oil filter off to install the oil pressure sensor for the oil pressure gauge, and we took the oil filter off to get at it. But yeah, I forgot to put the oil filter back on before I started it.
Or I forgot to put it on.
Whatever.
Same difference.
Yeah, same thing.
Fram sucks.
Yeah, Fram oil filters are garbage.
Yeah.
So you put them on when you're breaking in a motor.
Mm-hmm.
And then you run it for like 4 heat cycles, take it apart, put a Wicks and Schaefer's in there, and you're good to go. But yeah, there we go. Got the downpipe on. I got my wideband O2 sensor hooked up into the exhaust here. And yeah, you want to take the wideband here and you want to make sure that it's not like in direct stream of like any exhaust, because there's actually quite a bit of moisture and shit that can get into the sensor. Say if you put it on like the back side of the pipe here, a lot of that moisture will hit the back side of the pipe over here because, you know, the exhaust is flowing this way. And you want to make sure that the sensor isn't in line with that, because you will burn sensors out like every other day. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Well, you see, I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, anyways, so always make sure it's out of the way of like, you know, the direct exhaust flow. So try to put it on like the top of the pipe or the side of the pipe or something like that, you know, because you always want to make sure you put it in the top of the pipe. You know. What else do we do besides spill oil everywhere?
That's it.
Yeah, we got that all done. Now I'm putting gauges in it, and
Take that exhaust to the hood.
oh yeah, we got to cut a hole in the hood.
Yeah. Won't be like my car.
Yeah, Michael literally just took a die grinder and cut a square in his hood to clear the up pipe, and then he just like made some frickin' homemade flap thing.
Yeah, with a diamond plate.
Yeah, diamond plate.
Yeah.
But for this one, I think we're gonna try to do it nice, and we're gonna actually try to get a hole saw. And a trick, actually, Michael, to cut your hole in your hood for your up pipe is you can actually take grease and put it around the pipe here on the top, and then shut the hood, and then wherever the grease was is where the pipe was.
Once it's short enough.
Once it's short enough, yeah, because this is actually at an angle, so I feel like Michael was right. He actually said, he's like, oh, you got to cut this down before you shut the hood and cut the hole, because, you know, it's going to be different if we cut it here or here or here. You know what I mean?
In my car, I did it literally 3 days before we went to the track. When I first put my car together, it was just...
Yeah,
to go
you were
to the
just
track.
excited, and you were like, fuck
So
this, I'm just going to cut it.
together and took it to the track.
Yeah. There is actually a video of D16 base map. What is it called? D16 Civic swap, how to build a base map video. Has like 9,000 views. You can see Michael cutting his hood with a die grinder.
Yeah.
It's in the video. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna get to. I don't know what we should do with an up pipe. Try to merge it.
You can get real fancy.
Merge it into the pipe.
Just right at the center. That's a sheepy built manifold right there.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of video to edit. Should I end the video right now?
I don't know. Let's ask the viewers. We're live, right?
Yeah. What do you guys think? Should I end it right now? No, keep it going. No, keep it going.
We'll pick up tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll pick up tomorrow.
Like 5 minutes from now.
Yeah. And we'll do some more. Yeah.
Wait, did I just give away a secret?
What?
Tomorrow's 5 minutes from now.
Tomorrow was 55 minutes ago. It's
Yeah,
almost
no,
one.
but tomorrow's video will start.
Oh yeah. I don't know. We'll pick up tomorrow, guys, and work on this car some more. Hopefully, get it running. I plan on actually flowing some injectors and getting some decapped injectors flowed. I got this fancy flow bench over here, so we're gonna flow some injectors, get some injectors installed into this thing, a fuel pump, and whatnot. I'm probably gonna do some stuff off camera tonight, like get the gauges installed and whatnot, just so this thing's ready to go for tomorrow, and maybe we can get it tuned and whatnot right away. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, check out Honda Vlogs on YouTube. He's awesome. He does a recap show every Monday and pretty much follows like every Honda YouTuber out there. So if you guys are looking for new channels to follow, go check out Honda Vlogs. He goes over a lot of them, and he's an awesome guy. Christian is super cool. Huge shout out to him. He's actually been helping me with my website and stuff like that, and just overall a great guy. So yeah, anyways, we will see you later, Mr. Vaping some oven cleaner over here.